Hey guys, today you are going to be watching the video tutorial on how to do drawing 3. Alright, your supplies are going to be a pencil, a chisel tip Sharpie, a fine Sharpie in all the colors that you want, of course, and an ultra fine Sharpie in the colors that you would like. Okay, so with that being said, the first step that you guys are going to do in your sketchbooks, if your sketchbooks looks like this, circle drawing, write the 3, date it, 1/30. 21, whatever the date is. Make sure your first and last name is on here, first, last, and your teacher's name. Okay, now if you're using your own sketchbook, then make sure that you're writing drawing 3 and all of this information. You don't need your first and last name or your teacher's name on here if you already have an established sketchbook. But this is where you're gonna do 2 sketches, sketch number 1 and sketch number 2. You're gonna sketch out an idea of how you're going to do your drawing here. I'm gonna sketch that out and I will be back with you in a moment. Okay, as you can see here, I have 2 sketches, really quick sketches. You notice that I have patterns and details in every single space, and knowing that when I get to my final paper, I'm going to utilize that space to the fullest. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get my final piece of paper. And on this paper, you need to write your first name, your last name, not your first name again, your last name, teacher, your grade, and the date. Okay, first, last, teacher, grade, date. And this is drawing 3. Okay. Then you're going to flip your paper over, and this is where you're going to complete your final piece. And I will get back to you as soon as it's done. Once you have your sketch laid out on your final piece of paper, then it is time to get the Sharpies out. And remember, Sharpies are meant to use just in small areas. To cover a giant area with Sharpie doesn't work really well. That's not what they're meant for, but that's okay. That's why you're going to put patterns and textures within your drawing in order to close up those shapes and make them a little bit easier managed with your Sharpie. Now, keep in mind, when you use Sharpie, you always use lighter colors and then move up to your darker colors, right? Your black Sharpie should be the last Sharpie that you use, and whatever one you choose to use, that's gonna be your very last one. And it is gonna be used to outline all of your things. So I'm gonna show you how this is done, and I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how you are going to color with a Sharpie. So I'm going to take this yellow and I'm just going to go around my outline. Now notice that my outline is really, really dark. It's so that you can see it on the camera. You are not going to draw this dark when you lay out your piece. So you're just going to trace through. Now I want you to notice that when I am drawing through this, I am not only moving my hand, I'm moving my whole arm, and I'm getting a nice smooth line. So when you start coloring it in, you're gonna go in the same direction and fill from line to line. So trace out the area first and then color in the same direction. Do you see? It's gonna take time, so you're gonna have to slow down because quality matters. Okay, so this is gonna take time and you're gonna have to slow down. Quality takes time. One little stroke at a time, guys. Slow it down. I'll give you an example of what it would look like if I took the Sharpie and just started coloring. So I have this Sharpie and I'm gonna color, right? Do you see the dark? This may not be a good example. Okay, I have this color and I'm coloring, and do you see it gets darker and lighter and darker and lighter and darker and lighter? If I am slow when I do this and I'm just laying down colors one on top of the other just like this, then you have a nice, solid, consistent, even coverage. Okay, we will see you on the flip side and I'll show you the final product. Okay, once you have your base laid down, then you're gonna go ahead and take an ultra fine Sharpie and you're gonna start adding more patterns and details in it. And here's an example. Okay, and you're just gonna keep covering and adding more and more patterns and details as you go. And once you have completed and filled everything that you want to fill, then you will turn it in to get checked off. This is for drawing level 3. Bye.